Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television, from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
I'm Kerry Fink, and welcome to Helping Seniors Television Show. This is the show that helps you as you work on your own aging plans, or as we often like to say, helping you get your ducks in a row. We have a neat topic for you today. I can't wait to get into it. But on behalf of our president and founder, Joe Steckler, and our entire Helping Seniors team, I want to welcome you to this broadcast. It's about a topic I think is going to be a lot of fun. It is all about food, and food is a near and dear topic. And so this is Chefs for Seniors, and I'm so honored to have in here with us today in the studio. It's Jillian with Chefs for Seniors. How you doing, Jillian?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
So we've had the privilege of meeting at some various events, talking about like the senior expos where you've been out explaining this, and then even we do the Helping Seniors radio program, and you're another radio star there on 90.3 FM WEJF, and doing things with Chefs for Seniors there. And we started a conversation. I thought this is fascinating, because what you actually do, maybe it's better if I let you tell it, but I think it's cool how you will go to a senior's home and help them with meals. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we are a first of its kind in-home meal service. And what we do is we typically start with a free in-home consultation. We go and talk to the senior at no cost. We talk about their food likes and dislikes and dietary concerns. And then we get a good idea of what they like and don't like. We match them together with a chef, and then the chef takes over from there. We do the grocery shopping. We bring our own pots and utensils and towels. We cook typically 4 meals in 2 hours. We package and label everything into boxes, and then the senior is left with a clean kitchen, and then they get also to eat whatever they want, whenever they want.
You know, I really thought that was pretty incredible, because when you stop and break this down, one of the challenges that I've certainly seen with seniors as we go along is that, you know, there's a tendency like, I'll eat whatever's left over in the refrigerator, and then we develop, you know, maybe things that are not the best for us, but we say, hey, I like that. So there'll be, you know, some kind of a chocolate or some kind of a thing, and even though the doctor is fussing at us about, you know, sugar intake and things like that, we just, it's just a little chocolate or something. And oftentimes, I guess one of the challenges that seniors have, every time we go to a doctor, there's always, you know, you should be eating this, more of this, less of this, and trying to get us on a healthy diet, really for our own good. But then it kind of maybe breaks down. They give us a nice printout, say you should be on a Mediterranean diet. Let you take this home and you figure out how to cook your fish and how to do all this stuff. But then we get home and it breaks down because we don't really know what to do with that. And that's exactly what you step in and help us with.
Sometimes it's best to just call in a professional, and we're there for support. We want to help. And especially if there's dietary concerns and you're struggling with, you don't know what to eat, we do offer all kinds of specialized diet help. And really, people get injured, they're getting older, they can't necessarily stand. They maybe have a walker or a wheelchair now, and they're trying to get used to figuring out how to live this new life. So we're here to help. We come in and we cook everything for them so they can just sit back and relax. And especially with COVID, where they're not quite getting out as much, we do the grocery shopping for them, and they have a familiar face that they get to see regularly. A lot of the time we're getting called from a family member that's possibly out of town saying, my mom's not eating right, they need help, can you go help? And that's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. I was going to say, I'm sure you have a number of seniors who say, I would love nothing more than to have a private chef who is able to cook meals, and then I don't have to mess with that. What a blessing that is by itself. But then I was also thinking, there must be a lot of adult children of seniors who say, wow, Mom, wow, Dad, you know, let's see if we can get a little help. I'd help you, but I'm in Chicago, you know. So I guess you get all of that, right?
Absolutely, we do. And we're a kind of a great in-between person if the adult is out of town and they're having trouble trying to talk to their parent or get them the proper nutrition. We communicate with them. We send pictures. We send pictures of the food that we made. We send pictures of dad sitting down eating his dinner, and they're happy.
You know, it's such a wonderful thing because food is such an important part of life, and I guess oftentimes, particularly if you're a senior and maybe you live by yourself, it's almost an afterthought because, you know, when you had kids and you had a family, then it's going to be five or six people around the dinner table, you're trading stories, but oftentimes as a senior, maybe you're kind of like there by yourself, and so eating is more, well, I need to eat something, and so then we grab the wrong thing. And yet what you do is you make it A, a social experience, but B, a nutritional experience, and C, a tasty experience, I think.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that they're getting the proper nutrition, and that enables them to be able to stay at home too, because the number one concern is if they're not eating enough, are they going to be able to stay at home? So we want to make sure that they're aging in place and that they're eating healthy and getting proper nutrition.
You know, we talk about that a lot in the helping seniors world, where we say, you know, this is about getting your ducks in a row and making a plan for how you want to go. And, you know, one of the questions that we ask seniors to think about is, what is your aging plan? Most people say, well, all things being equal, I like my home. I'd like to stay at home. I'd like to do the things. I'm comfortable here. This is where I feel best. And so one of the things that we often talk to those seniors about is, what are the ways that we can do that makes your home safe for you as you get older? And oftentimes we think about things like, well, maybe a grab bar here or there. Maybe we think about, let's pull up some of these loose rugs so they're not trip hazards. Let's make sure these extension cords are out of the way. All those kind of things. But one of the things we don't think about home safety is food. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this as a non-expert, but I can imagine, like, if I'm older and maybe occasionally would have what we call that senior moment and leave something out on the counter or something like that, I could be putting myself in harm's way. And one of the things is that the way that you approach this, and you brought some tools and I wanted to share those, is that when you come and organize the food, you set everything up in a very simple system so that you're cooking, like, it's not just the one meal, you're cooking multiple meals. And so by the time you head out the door, that person is ready now for several days ahead. Talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. So at the consultation, we go and find out if we're cooking for one person, if we're cooking for two people, and how we can make it work. So typically, when we go to the home, we're filling this out right here, and they get to choose their 4 meals. And then again, there's going to be multiple servings of those 4 meals. We always have a day and time selected so that they always know when their next meal is coming, when the chef is coming, and there's none of that meal hesitation or anxiety of, I don't know what I'm going to eat, I don't know what I'm going to eat next. So we always fill this out for them, and they always have a plan ahead of time. So with that too, they can always, they have their 4 meals there, and we just have a plan.
Well, that's terrific because, you know, again, one of the things is, and I'm saying this because I've seen this happen, I've seen a loaf of bread and a pile of cheese, and that becomes food. Like, here's bread, here's cheese, I'm going to eat that. Next time I'm hungry, here's bread, here's cheese, I'm going to eat that. And it may not necessarily be that there's not better things in the house to eat, but that's simple. Here's my bread, here's my cheese, I'm going to eat that. And what you've done by already packaging and having this organized, now there's something that they can pop open the refrigerator and look forward to eating too, because you explained too that once you've prepared it, it's very simple for them to pull it out of the refrigerator and then enjoy it, right? Because I think you said you just take the container, you put it in a microwave, or you put it on a plate and heat it up. Show what that looks like.
Yeah, so we have these simple containers right here. They're easy to open, they're reusable. This is a 16-ounce container, so again, at the end of the 4 meals, they have multiple servings, so they're going to have either 3 or 4 servings of each, and that also determines of how often we come back. Right. So with these meals right here, you're going to have your protein, your starch, and your vegetable. If you want to go low carb, you'll have your protein, vegetable, however your diet works. But then you just crack the lid open, stick it in the microwave, put the the 30-second button for hit it a couple times and make sure everything's hot, and then you're good to go. They're reusable, so when they're finished, they just find a place in the cabinet, and we just keep reusing them over and over.
Well, so it's pretty green as well as you think about it. So one of the things I wanted to ask, though, is not only are you providing proper nutrition in the form of these meals, but you also mentioned that you're able to accommodate different dietary needs. So somebody says, listen, I'm diabetic, doctor needs me to have only this. You talk about some of the different kinds of meal plans that you're able to supply.
Yeah, so all of the meals are on our website, and we do have a little key on here. So we have low sodium, gluten-free, vegetarian, dairy-free, low carb, diabetic friendly, low cholesterol. I'm also familiar with vegan and keto diet, so we cook pretty much everything we can. We talk to you about it, figure out what you like, and we deliver what you like. And it doesn't have to necessarily be from our book of recipes or our menus right here. If you have like a family member where like the husband is there, but he loves his wife's meatloaf and he has the wife's meatloaf recipe, we can sit there and make that too. So we're not constrained to any set rules. Having a personal chef gives you freedom to eat however and whatever you want. So I've even had clients not on a strict diet order 3 meals and a cheesecake.
Well, it makes sense to me. You know, one of the things I was going to say is I did go to the website. I think it's chefsforseniors.com. And it was pretty interesting because I didn't realize that this was actually a national organization and that this is what this company does. And I was asking you before the camera was rolling, I said, so what is actually kind of cool is that when you do go to the doctor and the doctor is saying, hey, listen, we want you to work on this kind of a diet because that's going to be more healthy given the constraints that you're under, you're actually able to, because like I said, it isn't somebody just rolled out and said, oh, here's a menu. Somebody that actually understands nutrition and what's needed in a dietary balance has already looked at these meals and pulled these together.
Yeah, so all of these meals are based on the Mediterranean DASH diet. Mediterranean, we know, is a very healthy option, lighter in fat and the proteins. And then with the DASH diet is a dietary approach to stop hypertension. So we're all worried about our heart and low sodium, so we incorporate that into this diet.
You know, the other thing that brings up for me is I was thinking like, but this all sounds very expensive. I mean, I think almost any of us would want to win the lottery and hire our own personal chef. I mean, that would be high on almost anybody's list, I think. But I was really amazed at how affordable this actually turns out to be, because I'm going to ask you to speak a little bit more to it. But as I was asking Chef Jillian before the show, I said, what does this kind of work out to per meal? And I was amazed to find out that for about the price of when you pull through that drive-through and you order the meal combo, we're not even going to get into the nutritional content of that. We're just talking about the price of that meal combo. Wow, yours is a tremendous value.
We are extremely competitive. We do have a set price for our standard option, and then the groceries are separate. And once you do the math, and I do the math for a lot of clients, and I add up the total, I add up the boxes of food, I do the math, and my client says, the number one thing that stood out in my mind that I can't let you go is that you told me these meals were only $13 a box. And everybody's different. I've seen meals as low as $4 a box.
And it's incredible when you think about it, because like I said, you couldn't go, even if your thought was, well, like, I'm going to call the restaurant and I'm going to get the takeout and take it home. You're not going to get anything less than that. And this is you doing all the work, coming to sit down, make the meal plan, find out what the person would really prefer to have, so that they're getting the meal exactly they will want. It's not just going to be for that one meal. It's going to feed them for maybe the rest of the week or however that's set up. It's going to be nutritious according to what the doctor is ordering or asking them to do that's in their best interest. and it's going to be prepared by a chef in your home. How much better could it get?
It really doesn't get any better than that.
So let me ask a question about Jillian. So first of all, one of the questions I asked is like, okay, we live in a big county, so obviously you have to have help to do this correctly in some of the areas, and that's what you said. You have a team of chefs that works with you, which I think is fascinating. But the other thing that I thought was fascinating is let's talk a little bit about your own culinary expertise, because I thought it was pretty fascinating that you have graduated from chef school, and just talk a little bit about your path along the way. You did that, you worked at some of the high-end restaurants here in Brevard County, and I love when you told me what your first specialty is.
So I've been cooking for over 20 years, believe it or not. 20 years ago was my first restaurant job. I've been working from the bottom all the way to the top. It's so crazy to see how this has bloomed. And I finally went to cooking school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Orlando. I graduated as a pastry chef. I got my externship. I cooked at Disney's Epcot Food and Wine Festival. Was my first real gig over there. And then out of school, I was a pastry chef at one of the top hotels that's still there now. And I even got desserts all over their menu. I made the menu, they still have my menu. I did interviews with the head chef of Epcot. They were shown all over the place. And then when I moved out to Melbourne, I got a top job as a pastry chef here at the Chart House. I worked at a couple different restaurants over here, and I always said I want to have my own restaurant, but I don't want the overhead. How can I figure out how to do this? And when Chefs for Seniors came along, it said, you don't need a restaurant, you just need to be mobile. So that's great. We bring our own pots and pans and utensils. So I'm literally just a mobile chef going around everywhere and cooking for people. And it's just me, the chef, and the happy client that's grateful and happy to have a fresh meal. So I couldn't be happier with this.
So one of the questions, first of all, think about that. Think about the bragging rights it gives you. So my personal chef is the one that actually cooks for Disney. What a great story it is. But listen, seriously, when you're talking to, I think there's another aspect that goes with this, and I think it's part of the design, right, is that socialization aspect. When you're going, because you could easily just be a delivery service. It could be that simple. Fine, you ask for this meal, it's nutritionally correct, it's hot, it's fresh, here, have a nice evening. So there's more to it than just the cooking part. Talk about that.
2 hours is a long time to be in somebody's home, and of course we're going to start talking. So I mean, a lot of my clients, I encourage them, come and sit with me, come and watch, see what I'm doing. You smell all the food, you get to taste everything right there. A lot of times I'm putting it in a dish and I'm serving them their lunch or their dinner or their breakfast, and they look forward to it. I mean, where else can you have a job where your clients say, bye, I love you, I'll see you later?
It's tremendous, and I think it's so valuable. You know, we were talking earlier today on a topic. We have a resource out on the Helping Seniors website, helpingseniorsofbrevard.org, and it's a senior needs survey. What we do is we keep that running pretty much year round, and we update it each year, because what we want to hear is from seniors themselves how they self-identify the top needs in our community. So because one of the roles that we do as a nonprofit is we also advocate on behalf of seniors. We want to make sure, here's an example, that everybody in our government system and everybody in our businesses and everybody we run in contact with knows we live in a county of 650,000 people, and that we love our kids in this county. We love our kids so much in this county that we voted in an extra 1/2 cent sales tax. So whenever we go out, we're willing to pay an extra 1/2 cent in sales tax so that our kids can have the best schools that they can have. So we voted that in. We care about our kids. But here's the statistic. We have more people over 65 than we have kids under 18 in our county. So a big part of what Helping Seniors does is we advocate on behalf of the seniors. So back to my point. when we ask people what the needs of seniors are, you know, you would expect, I need more help with housing, I need more help with transportation, I need help with medical, I need help with legal. These are the things you would expect to find out. What was surprising to us, at least the first year, but it's come up year after year, is socialization. You would think that with 650,000 people in the county, that wouldn't be a challenge, but when seniors are reporting that they feel a little bit isolated, and remember, this was before COVID. You can only imagine how bad it's been following that when they told us all, against everything that would be natural to us, don't have any contact with your neighbors. So now, I would have to believe the socialization aspect of what you do is even that much more important.
It's so extremely important. Like I said, it's something that they look forward to. Not only do they get to eat a healthy meal, they get to stay up on everybody's lives. And we just share and interact and tell each other about what's going on and support each other. Sending them cards when they get sick, you know, praying for them. I love them just as much as they say they love me, so we're family.
Oh, it's fantastic, and that's a thing that you can't get. So I want you to think about that when you start to add these pieces up, right? So number one, every time we go to a doctor, the doctor is always encouraging us, maybe begging us to eat better, right? For our own good. I mean, they are literally looking out. They want us to be careful with everything from cholesterol to, you know, blood sugar and all these different things. And that's tough. You know, we talked about this before. So you're a professional chef. You went to school. You learned how to do these things. And then you have cured it through years of practice, so you've really become an expert at what you do. And then even then, you're not doing this by yourself. You're doing this in combination with a nationwide company that has figured out some best practices for how to make this work for everybody, and making sure that the nutritional concept is there and that we're doing all this the right way. So you have all of those parts in play already as you sit down and you talk with a senior family. But then you're giving them that in-home experience where, you know, if you're just pulling something that you got out of a freezer and throw it in the microwave, you don't get that. First of all, you're not getting the freshness. You know, it may be marginally tasty. We also don't know about the preservatives and stuffs in there. We don't know if that's going to hurt anything. And then you just don't get that feeling of having a fresh cooked meal, let alone the conversation that interaction, that socialization you're talking about. And then to find out that this isn't going to break the bank, that this is probably close to what you're spending anyway. I guess the question for you is, how do you keep up with the number of people who are always calling you? I guess you're always having to find ways to replicate yourself and help train other chefs, right?
Absolutely. I'm always looking for reliable, great chefs that want to come and possibly get out of the restaurant business where they're working nights, holidays, and weekends. A lot of times we are working during the day. Seniors aren't staying up late, and they're not necessarily going to be, you know, on the weekends and holidays. And it's a nice concept.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. Now, some of the things we haven't talked about, if somebody is intrigued by this, well, I mentioned the national website, Chefs for Seniors, but if somebody wants to get in touch with Chefs for Seniors here in Brevard County, how do they get in touch with Chef Jillian and get the process, say, hey, I'm interested, how does this work?
Yeah, so they can go to the website, chefsforseniors.com/Melbourne, Florida, and then I can be reached, call or text 321-210-6953.
I'll have you say that one again.
Okay, 321-210-6953.
And who is a perfect candidate for what you do? Who would you say, like, if you're this person, give us a call?
If you're somebody that struggles with eating a real meal, like you said, if you're eating the bread and cheese, if you're finding yourself kind of just snacking and not eating a real meal, if you're hesitant when it comes to food time or meal time, I mean, we cook for anybody that doesn't want to cook, can't cook, struggling with cooking. If you are injured and out of the hospital and you need help, you can even talk to your insurance company and see if it isn't something that can be covered, because some insurance companies will reimburse you for our services.
Well, it's an amazing service that you guys offer, and thank you for doing what you do for the seniors in our community. I believe it's a tremendous niche, and it's something that's very important. It's going to continue to grow. You know, it was probably important during COVID times, but I think even now, as people are still kind of like keeping an eye out on what's happening, it's still a great way to have good home quality, healthy meals cooked, provided in your home. So again, just before we close out, I want to make sure we get that phone number for Chefs for Seniors.
We can be reached at 321-210-6953.
Chef Jillian, the owner of Chefs for Seniors here in Melbourne, and you're able to reach typically throughout the county, right? So it doesn't matter if you're North County, South County, Center County, you're able to be there, huh?
We cover all of Brevard County, and again, since we're a national franchise, check with the locations because we're pretty much there.
It's terrific. So again, we're talking about Chefs for Seniors. I'm talking with Chef Jillian Zebris. Am I saying that right? Make sure you find out how this could be a great answer to some prayers in your house for that senior that you love and care for. So on behalf of Joe Steckler, our president and founder, we sure do appreciate you tuning in to Helping Seniors TV. We'll see you next time right here.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.
Hi, I'm Ashley Castle with Hibiscus Court Senior Living. Hibiscus Court has always been great supporters of helping seniors of Brevard because we're both here for the same thing, to make sure that seniors can stay as independent as possible and make sure that they're connected to all the resources we have here in Brevard. If you're looking for a great place to call home, please call Hibiscus Court. Our phone number is 321-951-1050. And if you need some resources on just about anything, give Helping Seniors of Brevard a call. So we're all here in it for the seniors.